All right. So 10 hours into Elden Ring. And here are my thoughts on the game. Been asked a lot about it. I mean, every time I'm playing it on stream, twitch.tv/YoungRubber59, someone comes in and asks me, hey, how you feeling it? How you liking it? And I'm going to give you my assessment of the game itself and then some other thoughts that I know there's going to be some people that vehemently disagree with me. Some agree with me so far. So let me just start by saying this. Who is the game for? I'd like to start my review saying that this is for people that are, I think this was really From Software's. They wanted to create something a little more bold and ambitious for their core Souls players, right? So if you've played Dark Souls before, that's who I think this is really for. I think there's a lot of people, and I've seen it before, that are going into this game thinking that it's just this cool open world action RPG, and a lot of people are talking about it because of the time frame. It's not a whole lot coming out. This is From Software's next big thing, so a lot of people are talking about it, and they're going to go into it with a rude awakening because it's going to be nothing like what they generally expect. But for me, in playing it, they knocked it out the park with that element of it. If you are trying to build a game that is just a bigger, more ambitious Souls game, then they nailed it. The open world element really takes this certainly to the next level. People that have played the Souls franchise, you're gonna, whether you're in it for the story or you're in it for just these whole big awesome boss battles and all of that, the RPG elements, all that is still, a lot of that actually is copy and paste. I'm going to be completely honest with you. If you've played the previous installments of like the Souls franchise, you're going to be able to jump right in. Now, that isn't to say there's something wrong with that. I want to be very clear. We know with sports franchises and other games, they copy Call of Duty, they copy and paste a lot of stuff. And they may expand on certain elements of it, but a lot of it, for the most part, is certainly copy and paste. I went into this, by the way, with a samurai kind of tank kind of setup that I'm going to end up building. Maybe play some online. We'll see. But for that and what it is, I think a lot of people that if you like the Souls franchise, you're going to be into this. You might be, it's going to be a big learning curve for you guys that are new to this. And to be completely honest, a lot of y'all that are new to this may not like it. Why is this weirdo walking towards me? What are you doing? Dude, I'm trying to do a review here, man. What the fuck are you doing? Anyway, like I was saying, don't tell me someone else is going to come. I'm trying to do my review, man. Let me do my... Oh, I forget they come back. My bad. I always forget about that. Anyway, I'm trying to do my review. You got random-ass skeleton people coming to me. Anyway, like I was saying, maybe he disagrees with my... review, I don't know. Nonetheless, sorry. The open world element certainly takes this to the next level. So if you're in a Souls franchise, you're going to be right at home. Now, for me, I'm going to say this, and this is the part that I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me on. I went into it thinking that, and this may be expectation and them not living up to it. This isn't a knock on the game. Remember, I say all the time, there's a difference between what is good versus what your preference is. I played all the Souls games, and for me, I was hoping that this Elden Ring, definitely with it being kind of a new title going off a different brand, I was hoping that there were going to be some more next generation elements regarding the gameplay, taking some things to the next level, but there aren't any. This is a copy and paste of previous games with some added stuff, but for the most part, it's the same. And this is why you're hearing so many people that aren't used to this franchise saying, well, it's quite clunky. It's not for me. And I will say that, yes, I think the term that represents this combat system the most is dated. I think that it works for this franchise, and I wouldn't dare knock From Software for not changing it up, but it is very dated. And I even wish that even with some of the classes that they mixed it up, and yeah, that may require them to have to overhaul the entire game. But even with some of the class aspects, I wish that they had more athleticism certainly to it, but this is what this game is. This is what it's been built upon, and I cannot expect them to change that. But in the same respects, it is a copy and paste of previous installments with that base sort of combat system. And I was hoping for a lot more range and a lot more dynamic, not maybe on net, but more so in comparison to their previous installments. I guess that is on net, but not necessarily in comparison to other games, but making it make sense for their world. It doesn't have that. It's the same shit. And yeah, a lot of folks that play this are going to be like, this is clunky, responsive. There's no animation canceling or anything like that. It's one of those games that's built into it with it being as unforgiving as it has been. It's that, you commit to an action and there's not going to be much changing out of that. It's not fast paced. The skill element, we talked about this on my stream. Skill element is less about reaction speed and more about timing enemies' movements. Also understanding the timing of your animation that you're going to be locked into. It's a very animation driven game in terms of how you fight in your combat. And it's going to be, that's the driving force of what this game is. So you have to go into it understanding that if you are to be critical of this game and be fair to it. And this is why I would be weary of listening to people's reviews of this game if they have not played previous installments. Now, some people would say, well, that shouldn't matter. And to a certain degree, I agree. But look, man, Souls is a unique franchise in that regard. It's almost its own genre. And they built this game, at least in my honest opinion, from what I see, they have built this game specifically for people that are into this franchise, Souls franchise, and those types of games. And they just gave you more to do. The enemies are as big and all of that as they ever have been, but it's not. One of my criticisms, I'm going to say this, another thing a lot of people are going to disagree with me. One of my criticisms of Souls has been a gimmicky kind of big boss battle kind of situation where there's no range in terms of how you would approach a fight aside from the pattern. And yeah, you could say that about most games, but it's really, really baked into this game. So what I mean by that is that you could be fighting an enemy that's the same size as your character, or you can fight an enemy and that's just massive, 300 times your size, and it's the same thing. It's going to be the same thing, the same kind of approach to the fight, how your character reacts. All of that is going to be generally the same exact thing. It's more, they get these cool animations and they look big and look bold and it's huge and it's immersive, I guess, in that aspect. But as far as actually fighting them, that's fucking no different from fighting a small enemy versus one of those big bosses, aside from, yeah, they may be more powerful, yeah, they're gonna have their own unique animations, but as far as actually how you fight them, it's essentially the same as you would a smaller person. And a lot of that is because the base gameplay is the base fucking gameplay. So I'm going to play it a lot more. I'll give a full review. This is a 10-hour review, 10-hour mark, as you guys saw when the video started. It's a good game. It's a solid game for what it is, and because I know what it's supposed to be, yeah, if you are a fan of the franchise, Souls franchise, despite this being different, it's a copy and paste. A lot of the same mechanical aspects are still there, so you're going to fit right at home. This is one of those, if it's not broke, don't fix it type of situations. And yeah, you're going to love it. But for those of you that may be new to this learning curve, don't expect this to be some kind of pacey animation canceling athletic ass game. It is not one of those, and I guess you can't really expect it to be. As far as performance, I played this entire thing on PS5. I know some people have been talking about bugs. I've only seen like one bug, to be fair. I played it since it launched, and I have not had any problems, just some frame rate drop issues, and that's it. I know some people talked about latency issue, input delay, and stuff like that. I've experienced that as well. I don't know how the guys on PC are experiencing that, but for me on PS5, yeah, I get into these aspects where it does feel like my guy. And I'm not talking about like, okay, he's going through an animation from a previous animation and then you push it and then he's doing something. No, I'm saying like reaction. I'm pressing the button and he's doing it like he's doing a movement. No matter how light or heavy my character is, he's doing a movement late. I've had that problem as well. before, but it's not like game breaking or anything. So performance wise, it's decent for a game that I knew a lot of people were going to pick up. I expected a lot of people to play. Certainly not as buggy for me. I'm not speaking for everybody else. I'm just speaking for me and my experience, much like I do with my certain other reviews. So that's where I'm at with this. Automatic pickup if you're a fan of From Software and what they've been doing with Souls franchise. Go into it with an open mind if you are one of those that are just completely new to what these types of games are. Don't expect to be just uber athletic like you are in some other games. It's not what this game is about at all. So having a lot of fun. The challenge is always there. This is what this game is about. Why I loved it. The fact that they don't apologize for that. They make it to what it is, and you got to adjust. I'm having fun building this character out and all of that. So that's my honest assessment of the game. 10 hours going, certainly in.